Hey, Coach, I'm so excited you found us. Make sure you subscribe down below and hit up above. We put new content out just about every day. Also, make sure you go over and check out Teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. If you want to put up balls like this, if you want to win, you want to learn the game, you want the roadmap to become a better basketball coach, Teachhoops.com is the answer for you. It's a little bit of everything. It's mentoring, it's resources. Go over and check it out and have a great day.
All right, welcome to High School Hoops. Coach, November.
Coach,
I like November. November's a good month.
it might be one of the best. I mean, as for teachers, it definitely is one of the best. We get a lot of days off. So
Yeah, it's like December, January, and February are the hard ones.
yeah.
All right, so before we jump into balance and kind of balancing everything that we do, let me give you some things that help you balance. Go over and check out Dr. Dish, the #1 shooting machine on the market, in my opinion. We own 3 of them. We love them. Good Midwestern company up in Minneapolis. I don't know if they're in Minneapolis or St. Paul. Same thing. It's not really the same thing, but we're going to call it the same thing. Mention High School Hoops and you'll get $450 off. Also, go over and check out Game Changer. I know this is High School Hoops, but a lot of you have youth coaches. I have used it to tape. It is a kind of a one-stop shop. It's free. It is great. You can use it to videotape your practices and upload it, and grandma can watch or whatever. I know a lot of people use Huddle, but especially for the youth level, go over and check it out, gc.com/coaching youth hoops. And they'll help you out. It's a great app. So go over and check that out. And then go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. One-stop shop. I was just telling Coach that my son's in college in Vermont, so help me pay for college in Vermont. It's expensive.
But by this time, he's probably buried in the snow.
In November, he'll be buried.
Maybe not.
It's interesting. That is an interesting side note. So I'm in Wisconsin. He's in Vermont. We get a lot more snow in the Midwest than it's the coastal. You don't get as much.
It goes out to sea sometimes.
It does. It goes north to Canada. It doesn't. It's not like the UP or the Upper Peninsula of Michigan where
you guys just get dumped on.
Oh, and if you're on the wrong side of the lake, you get the lake effect snow. Like Cleveland and some of those Erie gets. I think Erie is on the east coast of those places. Just get dumped if you're on the wrong side and you get the lake effect snow.
Now, does snowfall total affect a house's value?
Well, how would it affect the house value?
Because if I know I'm going to get snowed on all the time, I'm out. Yeah, I'm going.
I know there's a lot of people that live in Chicago that they just deal with it. You just deal with it. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, we have snowbirds. We have a lot of snowbirds of people that leave and then go south for the winter.
Okay. We have them here too.
Yeah. And then the thing is, it's like, the difference between southern Wisconsin and northern Wisconsin is a lot of snow too. And then if you go to northern Illinois and southern Illinois hardly gets any. So it's just different. There's a swatch that kind of gets walloped. Like my wife went to Bloomington, which is in Indiana. You think Indiana is Midwest, lots of snow. That's halfway down Indiana. They didn't get a lot of snow when she was in Bloomington.
Yeah, they never had any snow in Hoosiers, I don't think.
No, so it's just anyway. Snow's fine. It would be great if it never went on the roads, but
if we can find a way.
We have more cold days than snow days. Actually, it's too cold to go to school. It's like 45 wind chill.
No, I would take the snow over the cold.
Yeah, cold's miserable. You can throw boiling water up into the air and it will crystallize before it lands. It's crazy. I've done it. It's just
keep me away from there.
Yeah, it is cold. I know. I'm gonna move out of here at some point. All right, so we're gonna talk about this was your topic, Coach. You're talking about work and balance and stuff. So tell me what you were thinking about this.
I mean, all the rave today is mental health for the kids and making them have a balance and sometimes I feel as coaches we feel that the more we throw ourselves into something, the better the results will be. Or the more that we care and the more that we're showing, the more time that we're putting in, the better we'll be. And sometimes I think it has the opposite effect. Sometimes I think you can invest yourself too much into something where it has an adverse effect. You start overthinking. The kids think you care too much. Administration thinks you care too much, and it might hurt you. It could.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm telling you, early in my career, it was like 24/7, 365 days a year. Now, I still think about it a lot, but I'm not quite to that point. As you get older, I think you kind of put things in perspective a little bit more. But part of the reason we've won and was it was almost, and again, I had the right partner. Who knew that that was my thing. You know, I didn't fish as much. I didn't golf. I didn't wasn't hanging out with the guys at the bar. I mean, I was coaching. Like that was my thing. That was my hobby. That was my thing. That's where when I had extra time, I was doing that. So, I didn't collect stamps or whatever people collect. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
So that was my thing. It was like, I was a basketball coach.
And I think those are conversations to be had with the people around you.
Right. Yeah.
Or,
And it's like, and I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a deal we made early in our marriage, even prior to kids, is, you look at the sign, we interrupt this marriage to bring you basketball season. It's true in some respects. I always made time for family, always like coaching I coached my own kids during the winter. Those were always high priorities. There were a couple things I always made time in winter because my parents had a place in Florida. So when the kids were little, I always went. Like I would turn the team over. I wouldn't miss a game, but I'd miss some practices, and I would go down and spend time with family in that winter break window. And then the deal was, if you coach, she got to go on spring break somewhere. The
okay.
family. So we got to go somewhere on spring break. That was kind of the deal. Like if you make it November to March, then March or April, whenever spring break was, we went somewhere.
And I think for young coaches, you feel like this is your shot, and you don't want to waste your shot, and you want to make the most of it. And I respect that. I think everyone respects that. But it reaches a point where you kind of have to take a breath, and you have to step back. It's hard. It's really hard, especially after a loss, and you want to watch the film. You want to see what we did wrong, and get ready for the next game. Take a breath, and live life without, because it comes across to the kids too that it's too important to you.
Yes.
And then it
Yes.
becomes less about them.
Yes. And the thing is, I'm getting the twilight of my career. So I talked to couple of my younger coaches, and I said, hey, we're going to go back to old school, and we're going to go out after the game. Well, I think it's going to help me kind of talk about it, kind of come down. Usually I'm already on to the next game. I'm literally like within 30 minutes of that game, I'm on to the next one, and I'm watching film and I'm moving on. It's like, nope, I'm going to take the rest of that day, good or bad, take it for what it is, and then move on. I think it will be better.
I think that's important for practices too.
Yeah.
When you get to that next practice, you can't be angry. You can't be salty about so and so, was lazy that night because he's, I know he's broken up with his girlfriend, and I'm mad at him. No, you need to just disassociate from the game a little bit and get away. And that goes especially for home. You bring that stuff home, nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah.
They're not coaches. For the most part, you're not going to be with a coach or in a family with a coach, so they don't know what's wrong with you.
And the thing is, it's like there's always teachable moments, wins or losses, and you do have their attention. You do have their attention that that next day, that next point of touch that you have. You just can't belabor it and not let it go for days or weeks. Like, it's done, it's over. But if we're gonna have a long film session, or we're gonna do something that's intense, then it's going to be um we've lost some tough games, and we've had our film sessions the next day just because you got to see this.
Mhm. Because
um
because because how it happened in your head is not how it happened in
right,
real
and sometimes it's like my fault. It's
life.
like
For
I
us
made a
too,
mistake.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I did this, look at this. So again, I think that's the balance. But um no, I think there's a fine line there. And I know in the previous couple of weeks we were talking about touch points and connecting with the kids. um that's where the balance can come in too. It's like, and I did something early. I separated home and basketball. I involved my little kids, but I didn't involve, it wasn't like my whole family was. There's two ways to kind of lean in. Have your entire family involved in your entire basketball program and everything you do and all the people involved in it, or that is one part of your life, and then there's another part of your life, which is the home part. I separated them.
And
And it's
they're both as difficult. They're
They're
both
both,
equally
but it
difficult.
was better for me. My son was always calm, but anyway, it was different. So I didn't come home and talk about, the parent meeting, and I didn't. Nope, that's work stuff. If 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 it's something I need to talk about, I'll bring it up to my wife. But other than that, that's that bucket, and this is my home bucket. And it's like, oh, let's talk about the kids. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Um, and again, that was just my decision. The coach I took it from was the other way. Um, and again, I took over a losing program, so I didn't want her to be around what I was going to have to do to make it a winning program. To be honest with you, early in my career, I needed the separation because it had had 5 winning seasons in 30 years, and I had to change culture, I had to change philosophies. I had to cut one of my assistant coaches kid. It was not a pretty couple of years, but I had to turn the switch to get to the point where we are now. And I personally didn't want my wife around what I knew was coming, because
Yeah.
whatever, I can take that. I can take the dad standing outside my room PO'd at me because I cut their kid, and how dare you. And anyway,
And,
I did.
and I think the balance goes to, and this is more difficult being in the building. You know, if I had that kid in class the next day, he's my point guard at 4 o'clock. But right now he's a kid in my English class. He's a sophomore in high school. He he had 10 turnovers last night, but he wants to
Oh,
learn
I
English.
definitely say something if you had 10 turnovers. You don't walk in my room without 10 turnovers, huh?
That's a lot. But that's on me too, because I should have taken him out of the game. But
Yes.
yeah, but just have that balance and separating, your actual life,
Right.
your actual day to day from the thing that I think everybody that would listen to this, we love and breathe, which is coaching. It's
Right.
really difficult to separate the two. They become
They
mesh.
become one. And again, total conscious decision on my part. My
Mhm.
wife's sensitive, my daughter's sensitive. I just didn't want them in the crowd hearing crap. I didn't want, and again, when my son was playing for me, she came and she was involved and she did all stuff, but she was more of a parent than she was the coach's wife. Um, so again, didn't have her, like some parents, some coaches have their wives like help plan the banquet, and they're doing this, and they're taking pictures and all that stuff. I made the conscious decision. I thought for my being and our family being, it was better to separate.
Mhm.
Um, and if she would show an interest, I mean, if she would like, I want to be like, no, I think it was good for her too. It was better, you know, um, to do that. So again, that's where you got to figure out that balance and what's going to work best for your family. There's no right answer with that. It's just, whatever seems to work the best.
And I think especially for younger coaches, it it really does become who you are. That win
Yes.
becomes your win, and that loss becomes your loss, and it hangs over you. And people can feel it around you. The kids can feel it around you. Your family can feel it around you. And it's very difficult, but you need to consciously, like you said, separate and make a decision.
And make a decision. All right. Anything else, Coach?
No, that's it.
All right. Till next week.
Hey, Coach, so glad you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and like before you leave. And also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It's got everything and a roadmap for you to become a better basketball coach. So go over and check it out. And let's head back to the next video, wherever that would be.